Good Up is a safe space for casual, cultural, and controversial life topics for people of all ages from the Afro-Caribbean and American lens. It's your Tuesday reminder that no matter where your walk in life takes you, you're good up bad. The show is hosted and produced by Deidre Ritter and Heiza Quinones Ivory, and is a proud member of the Kickin' It family. Follow us on social media at Good Up Pod. Use hashtag GoodUpTuesday to join the conversation, and visit us over at patreon.com/gooduppodcast to join our Patreon family and get exclusive access to bonus content.
Sis, I don't think I understand. You got up bad. Like, hello?
What's the craziest thing you've ever done for the D? You may
Left
be
the house.
entitled to financial compensation. Listen, okay.
Call 1-888-DIGMATIZed to see if you qualify.
And that is the theme of today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, before we get into that, welcome back to the Good Up Podcast. We are here for yet another week of fucking craziness and shenanigans. Thank you guys for holding it down with us for the entire season. Y'all, we only have a few episodes left before our season finale. DJ and I are super excited. Next week is the last week of recording, and then we got break.
A
It's
break.
lit.
Oh my God. I can't wait. It's a little bit of like, can't wait, but also like, oh my God, I'm going to miss recording.
I know, right? It's like a part of my weekly schedule, so I won't know what to do. But you know
what happens? Every time we
everybody
have a
needs breaks.
break, I get a little bummed when we first start the break because I'm like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Like, I missed the squad. I miss my sister. Like, and then right into the break, I'm like, oh, this is nice. And then it's like, okay, we're going to start recording. And I'm like, oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
But it's also me because I need to just accept the change and stop
Yeah.
being the person that I am.
But we will adjust. Everything will be good. I think the
Yeah.
audience will be fine because while we take that break, they'll still be hearing episodes anyway. So everything's
That's
gonna be
true.
great.
Yeah.
But
They won't feel it the way we
tonight-
will.
Exactly. So tonight's episode, as if I haven't been airing myself the fuck out on this podcast this entire season, I decided that why not go further? Why not embarrass myself more? We're talking about
Why not?
all of the craziest things that we've ever done for the D, okay? We're talking about being dickmatized. So, Deidre, when you heard of what dickmatized, what do you think about?
I think about not being able to accurately see all of the awful things a human with a penis that likes putting those penises in vaginas does to you, because said penis and the things that they're able to do with said penis has you so distracted and high and dickmatized. Like, that's what I think when I hear dickmatized. There's nothing that, I mean, at some point you do get to the point where you're like, fuck this. But I feel like when you're dickmatized, all the other things, no matter how much you may dislike them, you tend to forget about them once you know you have access to that penis.
Common sense goes out the window.
I did.
Logic.
What even is that?
self-respect.
What? That's a thing that we have? What is that?
Your friend's advice goes out the window. Yeah. So what is the earliest you remember being dickmatized? I feel like the chances of one being dickmatized increase the younger you are, because like that self-worth isn't really there. I feel like being dickmatized has everything to do with like a person's self-worth also. So I don't know, what was your first like dickmatization experience?
There was this guy, and I still feel a little nervous talking about it. I worry that if I even mention the experience, somehow he'll find a way to reach out to me. Right? He wasn't creepy or nothing, but I just don't understand how a human being is able to do the things with a penis, with his body, that he was able to do. And I don't know if I'm quite ready to tell my story, but I know it's a story that needs to be told. I was 27 years old, 26, 27. I was 26, turning 27. It was very ghetto, you know? So yeah, there was that. And we didn't even have no long history or nothing.
So what about it? Like, okay. let me answer the question first, I guess. My first experience, I remember being digmatized. Let's see. Okay, so I would say that it was my first time, I think, really enjoying sex. But I will say this person and I met in high school. This was in high school. But I think the reason I would say that I was digmatized is because, like, I would go above and beyond to make, like, our little sexual escapades, like, nice for this person. Like,
you was not doing that.
like, I knew this person like boy shorts, so I would try to buy boy shorts. I remember I was underage, so like I was trying to find lingerie with money, like the little money that I could have got whenever I could go shopping for myself. Like, I remember buying
and this was in high school?
Yeah, so this was like my senior year of high school. And before y'all panic, this person was also, I think this person is a year older than me, so it wasn't as serious. So I could recall buying a lingerie set in the color of like his favorite basketball team.
Oh, hell no. Wait a minute. Okay, so you have purple and yellow basketball booty shorts? I'm just assuming it's Lakers. Because a lot of people from home like the Lakers.
I won't confirm or deny what team it was. But okay.
Just so y'all know, I'm literally assuming that it's Lakers. That's the first team that came to mind.
Yeah, that's our assumption. Deidre and I have not discussed who this person is.
We've never discussed this. Is my first time hearing this. I'm very confused, sis.
But no, I bought lingerie in the color of like his favorite basketball team. But Deidre, I don't think you understand. Like, and I'm trying to be respectful because like I am.
You got a whole husband.
But at the time, this was the largest body part of a man's that I had the experience of experiencing. I was flustered. I was blessed. Okay. Have you ever heard that Ari Lennox interlude in Jasmine Sullivan's latest album where she was talking about like all the things she was willing to risk because of like how amazing it was? Like,
No, I haven't, but I remember that for the D challenge. Remember when everybody was talking about what they would do for the D?
Exactly. So all those things that people were saying, okay, and mind you, let's throw in the naivety. Like, let's throw in the fact that
you were a kid.
But at the same time, okay, and let me I guess embarrass myself less. A few years later, after this initial encounter with this person, when we were older, we revisited. And it was as glorious years ago as it had been the first time. So the lingerie purchases was worth it. I'm sorry.
It was worth it. It was a very key fine investment. I get it because
looking back, like I don't know if I would do that again. Like
no, not at this age. No, ma'am. Like, you know, I don't. And this is gonna seem so surprising and wild, but I don't have enough of a history to have gone through so much with men because I spent so much of my life with Dylan's dad, which, you know, it was a lesson or whatever. But when I do think about the people who at the time that I was having sex with them, I found it to be great sex, amazing sex. But then I would go back and be like, oh, I mean, I thought it was, but what I realize is my feelings are usually involved. And when I see it for you, the sex be popping. And then if it's a thing where those emotions are not the same, then the sex just be feeling like, oh, okay, that was cool or whatever.
I feel like that is a part of being digmatized, though, is like thinking that you've developed feelings for a person or like you like a person, when in reality, you just like their dick. Like, you don't have a relationship with them. You don't have a connection with them. You have a connection with his penis.
I've never had that level of being digmatized, to be honest. Like I said, the only thing I could really think of that would make it be that is me and Dylan's dad. But other than even the guy that I referenced, it wouldn't even be fair to say digmatized because, to be honest, me and this man only had sex like once. But because I remember how good that shit was, there was a long period where we would be doing this stupid texting thing where he would reach out to me, we'd make plans, and then the plans would fall through. And I'm like, oh, fuck this nigga, you know. But the reality was I truly wanted his dick. I didn't want nothing else from him but sex with him, you know. But
linked yourself or like dated or gotten close to somebody who wasn't necessarily as attractive, but you knew for a fact like they were throwing that shit down?
No,
because I've done that.
Really? How did you know they were throwing it down?
Because we
Did
had
they
sex.
have big? Okay.
Listen, okay, let me be real.
I thought it was
Obvi-
something you knew before you had sex with them.
No, obviously married now. This is speaking in the past tense, but like I tend to date or like develop connections with people who can make me laugh, right? You don't have to be like the finest man in the room, right? So I've ended up in situations where like I'm friends with somebody who like got great personality, jokey, might not be the cutest guy out there, but then somehow we end up having sex and I'm like, oh, you trying to blow my back out. Cool. Like that's a plus. But then people would be like, how hey, is I dating this person? Like they'll feel, which it's really shallow and it's really fucked up. But people would like question why I was like dating this person who they didn't find conventionally attractive. And in my head, I would be like, but little do you know,
They be putting
he
it down.
is like literal chiropractor levels of fucking my back up right now. You have
Yeah,
no
I
idea.
get that.
Like, and I will keep it to myself. I'll be like, oh, he's funny. But in my head, I'm like, that's
But
really
that'll be
not
the case a lot with man and woman. People will have a partner that other people are like, why are they with this person? And they're like, oh, you have no idea what that motherfucker be doing to me. But yeah, no, I've never had that kind of an experience, to be honest. Like the one time I dated someone who people were like, Deidre and him? How? But he was so dope. Like he was so sweet. He was so funny. We had such a good time. He was such a gentleman. So I didn't care that people had those concerns because I'm like, ain't nobody around here that's with him but me. And I enjoy him and he's sweet to me. And for me, like the looks are a plus. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to just focus on looks when I'm sorry, but fine people be treating other people like shit majority of the time. Fine people be out here knowing they got options. Okay. And they don't be out here. They be treating people like they disposable a little bit. Not gonna, that's just, and I'm not saying all fine people, but I'm not going to just put all my eggs in the fine basket. You know what I mean?
Makes sense. So in your few experiences of being digmatized, like what are some of the things that you were willing to do, or some of the like stupid antics that you took part in, and looking back you're like, it was probably because the dick was good, like
Yeah. So I want to take long drives. I'm not talking like hours long, but I've crossed state lines for the D. Granted, New York and New Jersey, it's kind of unfair to consider that crossing state lines because, come on, it's like a
have you ever flown yourself out for the D?
Oh no, I'm never doing that ever.
I mean, obviously
Never
we have
doing that.
standards now, Deidre, but the past is the past.
Even back in the day, I'm like, no, I don't know why. I've never seen myself using the money from the money that belongs to me for somebody to experience my pussy. I've never been that girl. You've flown yourself out for the D.
I'm here as a team representative of the bitches who've used their own money for the D, okay? And not specifically for the D. Like, I'm the queen of like, oh, I'm conveniently going to be in this city for something, or this opportunity just came up in this city. I should go because this person with this excellent penis happens to live there. Like,
a lot of people do that. I could see that.
Yeah, I'll put myself in proximity of good penis. I'm sorry. Well,
I get that. There was definitely a penis back home that I would absolutely have revisited anytime I visited home.
Right, like you
know what I mean?
Do I want to spend this money to go home for carnival? And then you remember like, oh, there's some penis on the side right there. I can go see it.
Like, right. Yeah. In that case, yeah, I've never made a trip happen like because of that. But anytime I'm going home, I know there's that one penis that if I want to have access to, I have access to. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm trying to, I mean, technically there was this one trip, it was like a work opportunity that it was kind of up in the air, but I did coordinate that work opportunity with my ex. Well, I barely refer to him as my ex anymore, but I was like, you know what? I haven't been home in a while. You haven't been home in a while. I have this work opportunity right up here in the air. You have a lot of autonomy because you work for yourself. And he was like, say less, here's the money, buy the tickets. Let me know when we go in. I was like, okay. So that was a thing. But again, I didn't fly myself. Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where you got into it with another woman over the D?
No.
Or ex baby mother? anything. Honestly, I try to avoid putting myself in those positions. Let's be honest. Like, I have
Right.
made a lifelong pledge to never be that person.
So you know what? I spoke fast, right? When I was with my ex-fiance, he, of course, was older than me because, you know, my brain somehow would just always go to these niggas that was inappropriately aged for me and my youth. But in any case, we were engaged, and I know we were having problems, and I feel like that's part of why he proposed to me. But in any case, our relationship kind of pretty much ended. He suspected me of cheating on him. He somehow ended up back in bed with his baby mama. And I found this all out after he pretty much skipped my birthday. He like tried to ghost me on my birthday. Turns out he was spending that time with his baby mother. So I definitely wreaked havoc. I didn't go after her. I went after him, but she inserted herself. And the fact that she inserted herself got her into big trouble. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I ain't trying to incriminate myself on these people's podcasts. But I was leaving. I was like, I don't give a fuck about this bitch. She ain't with me. I'm with you, nigga. So it was on. And this bitch inserted herself, and I clear every fucking body. I didn't get physical. I didn't fight nobody, but I embarrassed the fuck out of everybody. Because they were all older than me. I had just turned 20, and these were people that was in their 30s.
Was the dick good?
I don't remember.
Sorry.
I genuinely
if she can't recall,
then it wasn't
much. Because I'm sorry, I am 28 years old, still recalling 10 years ago. Okay, so
listen.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I can't really remember a lot of sex. I used to enjoy sex with him, but now that I'm thinking about the kind of sex that I've been having since him, I'm like, girl.
So with that being said, have you ever, when you were younger, recall feeling something along the lines of like dickmatized, and then got older and been like, it wasn't even that good? Like,
so what I have had, there was a guy, this was at the time before I got with Dylan's dad. There was this one guy I was involved with. This was the oldest person I'd ever been with. He was 20 years older than me. I was dickmatized when I was involved with him. Oh, I used to do some scandalous shit with that. Anyway, I was definitely dickmatized when I was involved with him. And then I do remember years later, we did like a little dip back situation, and I found myself not really seeing it to be as great on fireworks as it was when we were initially involved. But I still have the butterflies. Yeah, I found myself like, this is what I used to be risking all the things for. This is what I used to risk it all for that dip. I used to risk it all for that one. But
I feel like I used to risk it all more to be able to have sex, despite like, y'all look, we had the virginity episode. Y'all know I got active at a young age.
Yeah, y'all gotta listen to the virginity episode. It was good. Yeah.
But I think that I used to risk it all, not necessarily because the sex was good, but because like the idea of me having consensual sex was like powerful to me.
Yeah.
And I really like to be able to like take ownership of that. But I do recall like the example I gave Alia, like that particular person being very good to me, like wanting to like make it, spice it up a little bit. I'm just like, girl, who the fuck did you think you was?
I'm living for next time I have a person that can give me sex, I'm going to find out their favorite sports teams, and I'm going to have a collection of lingerie, not just basketball, because don't do it. Okay, because I don't know. I don't know. Is that a thing they would like? Like, I don't know.
To be fair, I don't even know that he noticed.
He's so fucking ungrateful.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know that he noticed. What else did I? Nudes were a thing.
You used to send him nudes? I only just started sending nudes like last year. I've never been a girl who sends nudes.
I've always been a girl who sends nudes.
Really? It's just you know why I've never sent nudes?
I took pride in my nudes, especially.
You go, girl.
Especially if the dick was good. If my shit leak, I am not going to panic. Let's just
you go, girl. I love it.
My shit leak, they're gonna be like, that's hey, is that ass? I'm gonna be like, yes, it is, bitch.
You know what's funny is that is specifically why I've never sent nudes, because of the child pornography that's so rampant back home. When we graduated high school, there were so many girls that we went to high school with whose nudes were being circulated, and it was grown men congregating to look at these nudes, and it was very weird and creepy to me. I was like,
that's one of the scariest parts of being dickmatized, is that sometimes you do things that can come back to you, that can lead to embarrassment, because you like this person, you want to impress this person, you want more penis. So
that's
there have
probably
been a
why I
lot
was
of
sending nudes
digmatized
last year.
girls who sent nudes and them shit leak. But all I saying is, if my shit leak, I will not be worried.
Yeah,
It gonna be blurry pictures because it's been quite a while, but
right.
they're gonna be on the iPhone 4 quality. 'Cause-
iPhone 4.
Mhm.
Oh, this is back in the button days when
Yes.
oh my God. Yeah, I'm trying to think about, so I guess I have been digmatized, but not like strongly enough, thank God. I'm not even complaining. Let's be
So
clear.
let me be clear. Being digmatized don't always mean that you're doing some wild shit. I will say that.
That's
It
true.
doesn't always mean that, because
It just means you can't get enough of the D.
It does. It means you call me and we in the club, or you text me and I busy. I gonna find a way to be unbusy, bitch. Cause like Ari, what is it that Ari Lennox? I need to play it. Ari Lennox was like, I was risking my job. If people found out who this person was, my reputation would have gone on the drain.
Damn.
Like, she was willing to risk it all because it was that damn good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had, let's think about just sex in general outside of being digmatized. Have you ever had an experience so good that like you start planning futures,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
thinking about,
That was the one. Remember, I tell you, we just did it once, and it wasn't even futures. It was just me. Like, wait a minute, like this, I can't not have sex with like this. Like, it was very much that. I did a little bit imagine a future, a little bit, definitely did. Yeah, but the more he showed his ass, the more that future erased.
One thing I will say about me is that I've tried to never be that like sex hungry person.
Sex hungry, I like that.
I've tried not to be the person who's like, you need to come fuck me now. But when my husband and I started dating, he decided that no, I like you and I want this to be a thing, so we're gonna wait. And I was like,
what?
Dare you?
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do a Ciara. Like, I'm done giving these niggas my pussy because they
he wanted to wait like a couple of weeks. Like, he wanted us to actually like date and get to know each other. And I was like,
that's your husband.
I know, but I was like, I want to fuck you today. Like, I just remember like being digmatized before I was even digmatized. Like,
oh, that's that big dick energy. Let me tell you something. Let's have a little, can I just give a PSA on what big dick energy is real quick?
Yes.
Because a lot of people hear big dick energy and they think of people with actual big dicks. No, baby. Big dick energy is a man who knows he's a man and know how to take care of the people that he's attracted to and want to take care of. Okay? Big dick energy is the way they don't walk. It's the way they don't talk to you. It's the way they don't take charge. Okay? That's big dick energy. Big dick energy is a man knowing that a woman that's on his arm is a goddess. Okay? Yeah. And not having questions about her whereabouts, and she ain't got to have questions about his. Okay? That's a big dick energy.
You know what big dick energy is for me? You know how like Crucian women or just VI women love when a man call them like mama.
Don't call me mama. Don't call me mama.
Is feeling that way though, like if he walk in the room, that feeling of getting
the forehead kisses. You could feel the forehead kisses as soon as you see him.
Big dick energy is we in the club, music loud, and my phone vibrate, and I look down and see who texted me, and I just like. Flustered. But I feel like you can be digmatized by big dick energy.
But that's the thing, and that's why I brought up the big dick energy, because you said you were digmatized by this man before you even had access to his dick. So and that in of itself is big dick energy.
For me in that situation, being digmatized was wanting it that bad. Like, I need to try this. It was like, you know those new Starbucks drinks that everybody will be talking about, and you'll be like, yo, I need to go. I need to get there. Yeah. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I
you know what's wild?
This
that's
is just
why,
my truth.
Remember I told you about the one guy who I considered myself digmatized, even though we only did it once, because we were texting before we had sex, and it was that kind of energy. He called me something really cute one day, and I was like, oh my God. Like, I think he called me like kitten or something. It was so, I was like, I actually really loved it. I don't know why. Yeah. But I just loved it. It was so cute. I was like, what the fuck? And he was just first of all, he was so good looking. He was a single dad, right? So our kids are the same age. He has a daughter. I have Dylan, and I think our kids are like the same age or like a year
Mm.
apart or something like that. And we were having a great time with the texting, and it was just really beautiful. He was very good looking. It was something one of my friends was trying to set up as well. She hit me up like, hey, I know this guy, he's single. This was the first guy in our age group that I actually gave my time to, because, you know, I have a history of being with these old niggas.
Mm.
And he's like a year older than me. And I was like, okay, first of all, he's our age group. He's got his shit together. He's good looking. He got this daughter who he adored. This man used to be doing his daughter hair. Hey, Isa. Okay. This man used to he used to have his daughter on the regular. Okay. It was like full blown split custody, 50-50. He loved having that child. Okay. Like, it was beautiful. He was doing his daughter's hair. Okay. Like, so I was
like, you go braid? you want to come braid my hair?
It was just, and you know, it was just so beautiful to see how invested he was. And that's actually top of my list, is if a man has children, the type of father he is. And even if he doesn't have children, the type of father he's going to be. That's always been something. That's kind of why I was so in love with Dylan father. Because aside from all the fuck shit or the kind of partner he is, he's a great father. I'm never going to take away from the kind of father he is, but he's an awful partner. I said what I said. Anyway. But that's the reality. Was I was really falling for this dude who was such a good dad, and he had his stuff together, and, you know, all this shit. And so I was definitely dickmatized before I had the dick. And then I got the dick and I was like, how many buildings do I need to set ablaze?
Right. Like,
like, what I got to do? Because I'm going to do it.
But have you ever been dickmatized by like big dick energy, got the dick,
and it was lame?
And it was lame. You were unimpressed. The dickmatization disappeared in an instant. It just poof, cloud of smoke.
Oh, honey, let me see. Not necessarily. Now I have. There was someone who definitely exuded a little bit of big dick energy. Very good looking guy. And once I got it, I was like, okay, I'm trying not to like incriminate myself, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with, apparently Americans, like Black Americans, have this idea that Jamaicans put down the best dick in the world.
Do they?
According to the Americans, apparently when you get with a Jamaican, your life is changed, your credit is getting fucked up.
If you're a Jamaican member of the audience, we would like to hear from you. Please comment on our next post.
But every time I hear Black Americans like talk about people they've been involved with, and then they'd be like, oh, and he was Jamaican, people be like, oh my God, you let a Jamaican hit it. But that's like apparently ultimate dickmatization right there. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, like what? So there was this one time there was this one Jamaican guy, very good looking, had a little BDE about him, you know, good looking guy, did the thing. And I was like, where was now what I do believe is that because Jamaicans' reputations tend to precede them, I think maybe he was resting on his laurels.
Yeah.
Because he was sizable, you know what I mean? And I sometimes feel like sometimes men with big penises tend to get a little lazy, tend to feel like all they got to do is show up. You know what I mean?
You know what I will say? There's a lot of VI men who
are just the same
category.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like regardless of your ethnicity, when you got a lot of men with big dicks think that that's all they need. That's not exclusive to any particular ethnicity or race.
Fucking breaking pelvis. That's really all you're doing.
Literally just shoving yourself. Like, can you moisturize it, please? Like, can you moisturize her?
So let's expose ourselves further and cause controversy. Have you visited all of the Virgin Islands? Have you been to all three?
Only two. And I forgot about this one dude from St. Thomas. I was very young. I was 18.
So, in your humble opinion, of the two that you visited, who...
I don't have enough experience with Tomians.
That don't matter.
I don't have enough to...
That don't matter. One man could cross the finish line and just blaze past all of them. In your experience,
who
who went in that category?
Oh my God.
It's St.
This
Thomas.
girl-
She don't want to say St. Thomas, but I fuck it St. Thomas. Two gravitas for St. Thomas.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, so here's the thing, right? I have been with more Crucians than Tomians. I will just say that.
But
however, comma, the first Tomian I ever was with, I was 18 years old. Of course, he was like 9-10 years older than me. We didn't get to do it often. It wasn't, but it was nice. It was, I liked him a lot. That was my baby. I liked him a lot. So there was that. The next time I was...
Is he a member of our audience? Good job.
I doubt it. I don't, oh my God, what even is going, is he even alive? I liked him. Oh, I liked him. Ooh. Anyway, there was another guy. I don't know that he's technically considered a Tomian because I think he was a bit of a transplant, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But the experience was still amazing because it was super lavish. It was happening we were like overlooking Megan's Bay. It was very luxurious. Champagne was involved. Champagne was being poured down my body in this very gorgeous shower. It was a lot. And so,
wait. Champagne ain't cheap. Hold on.
It was like Moet or Veuve or something. Oh, baby. It was not no sparkling wine because I know the difference between sparkling wine and champagne, y'all. I'm from the food and beverage industry. It was actual champagne being poured down my body. Oh my God. That was
so
St. Thomas.
In Deidre's humble opinion, I'm sorry, guys, Rock winning. But okay, so I will say I have visited both islands. And in my humble opinion, there's Cruiseman, Rockman.
Don't tell me the man them from St. John.
No, wait. Westman?
Oh, Westman.
They're not just Westman and Cruiseman. That's a whole different.
You ain't fair for that.
Westman
because
are in a category of their own.
You ain't fair for that.
I'm sorry, they're in a category of their own. That's not the same island. They are bred different. They born in a different hospital. They got different kind of breast milk. They raise up different. They had some strength training as children. I'm sorry.
You know what?
Westman,
they'll be pointed down.
My wine.
That's probably
my wine done.
I mean, Westman to be pointed down. That's that. You know what's I saying that like so here's the thing, right? I haven't been with enough Westman to really gauge it, right? Because most of the Crucians I was with was Eastman or like. Yeah, they were basically Eastman. Actually, now that I really think about it, I feel like my first time truly being with a Westman was last year when I got with the guy who I thought was my man, who turns out he wasn't. But he's one of those
every episode. Shout out to you.
I gotta do better. I need to stop being such a bitch about that. But I tell you,
this
y'all,
is a safe space.
I'm gonna tell y'all, and this is not even me. This is another. We're getting a lot of public service announcements this week. But in any case, when you get somebody who's extremely loving and generous and kind and all that shit, please remember that a coin has two sides. That's not me. That's everybody.
The dick is on one side, and all the bullshit is on the other side of the coin.
Girl, that's a fact. That's a fact. But he, I guess he could be categorized as a Westman. Bit of a reformed Westman, not like a true Westman in his white tee. I couldn't really have.
Did it wear white?
They were white or black, honestly. They were both. They just be them G-Man t-shirt. See, the thing is, the reason why I have not truly had the Westman experience is because I'm related to like 90% of them. So I couldn't risk.
I couldn't. Family?
I know.
Let me stop.
I mean, my man them from the past, if I call any one of them right now, they're going to be like, which care you? So
look,
the same goes for West Girls. We be dropping that thing on them.
That historically, listen.
She's a Westman.
St. Thomas has some very impressive young individuals.
They be pulling out all the stops.
St. Croix has some impressive young individuals, but Frederiksted, West.
Hey!
Something is in the bush tea. Something is in the water. Something is in the fucking bread. I don't know, Deidre. Like, if I look
bread.
at my life,
it's the lemongrass and the soursop.
if I look back at my life and think about the times where I've been digmatized, 9 times out of 10, it was
It was
a
a
West.
Westman.
It
Y'all
was
are
a
doing me
West
so
man.
proud. Shout out to my fellow Westman.
Like the fact that I ended up married to an American man is a miracle. But he's from
Yeah.
Dallas, and people from
Are
Dallas,
they like the stateside equivalent of Westman?
there's the stateside equivalent of Westman.
Thank you for telling me that.
Westman energy, Texas. Go to the South, okay?
You
Go
know,
to the South.
I've always known that I was meant to be with a man from the South. I cannot wait to move to Georgia. I actually feel in my heart, because since I was a kid, I've been called to New Orleans. And I'm like, maybe that's where my husband is. Maybe my husband is in New Orleans.
He might
Maybe, but it's something about
Might be.
Southern men with their Southern drawls. Okay. The way they speak.
Mhm.
Okay. Love me a
Mhm.
Southern man. Maybe that's the equivalent of Westman is them
Listen.
Southern men. Ooh,
All I can
honey.
say is the thing that keeping me from being pregnant is the fact that I hate kids, but
Yeah.
it's
I
been
remember when I
attempted.
was in Georgia, I was in Atlanta. Anytime I go to Atlanta and I hear the deep voice of a Southern man, I'd have just melt.
Yeah.
I'd have just melt. Like I'm like, how is this humanly possible, sir? How? And the guy from
just-
home, oh my God. The one, remember I was telling you, the one I was stigmatized with, who I used to
Uh-huh.
risk it all for. He's a West.
Uh-huh.
He's a West. And I tell you, even now, I don't think what is man I get butterflies. Like, oh my God.
So what are some of the ways that you've seen women risk it all for in terms of like being digmatized? Like, what are some of the things that women do, or let me say people, because we ain't the only ones who like penis. Okay, penis is
Yeah.
it goes around the world. It's for everyone.
Yeah.
But
So
what are
just people
some of
who
the
take
things?
penis.
Yeah, what are some of the things that you've seen people do in response to good penis?
I saw this one girl risk her reputation at work behind some dick. There was this whole scandal at my old job. From when I got there, to my understanding, he had like a wife or a girlfriend or a domestic partner, to say the least. There was this girl at work who was clearly his side piece. Like,
I think a lot of other women are digmatized. I think they think that there's something like
yeah, no, they be
substantial
digmatized.
there,
Yeah. And
it's,
I'm like,
it's penis.
yeah, I'm like, girl, I don't know how is it that men are able to put it down for the side pieces better than they put it down for their wives, but that's another story for
No,
another
I
day.
think they pointed down for both at the same time, because I've seen who was homegirl that went in a video in a bonnet talking about this is my helmet of salvation.
Derek Jackson.
Like,
No, she
yeah.
was that was a clear like abuse situation. She's giving me loose screws. And I don't think it got nothing to do with dick. I think it's a lot to do with her traumatic past. That's just my opinion.
It does seem kind of Stockholm syndrome. It does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you so much for making it make sense.
But have you seen that man?
He's a good looking man. Let's be clear. That body.
There's a sprinkle of digmatized in there. Continue.
That's true. Cause I was just watching Dr. Foster and I was like, damn, fuck that nigga and these niggas. Have you seen Dr. Foster?
If Chris Evans was my man and he cheated on me, I would have put on my helmet of salvation and put out that video.
Bitch!
And be
You
like,
would have at least take off the bonnet.
And hell no, and I'ma stick beside him. That's mine, and I'ma stick beside him.
That's mine. Okay, so this girl, like I said, when I started working at the company, I assumed this was his actual woman because they were together all the time. It just gave me they were like a full-blown couple, right? Anyway, turns out no, she was a side piece. There was a whole love triangle situation, but this girl, like, he would try so hard to make it seem like they were just friends, right? And we all knew, but we were like, we can all see what's happening here. Like the whole company can see. Like everybody knows what's going on here, right? It was just so obvious. But it was to the point where she was very territorial when it came to him. So any new woman entered the company, she automatically didn't like them because she thought that he would go after them. Even him and I were actual friends. And she did not fuck with me because she thought that him and I were involved. It was weird. Any good looking woman she saw as a threat, and she was okay.
That clip where the girl will be like, I hope you're ready to die by that dick. I hope you're ready to die by that
she
dick.
Is that's her. So mind you, this man get a whole woman at home. Okay. And don't even get me started on his woman, because his woman used to go off on people too. That's another story. But somehow him and her kind of were like, they were on the outs Sis basically went on vacation and came back, and he was booed up with a girl he used to be involved with years prior.
And mind you, that's not the wife. That's a whole other
That's
person.
not the wife. That's a whole other person. And so Mama really started to spiral. By the time I left the company like November. By Christmas party, which was a few weeks later, I left by a few weeks later, when the company Christmas party was about, there was all kind of tea spilling about how this girl flattened the girl tires on that kind of fuck at the People M company, like literally at the Christmas party, which is on the company grounds. This girl was vexed because he was ignoring her. She was trying to seduce him and dance with him or whatever. He wasn't interested. She lost her shit. They had some kind of conversation outside that was clearly passionate, and sis flattened the other girl's tires at work. Literally, there was like a court case behind it and everything.
I have lost 2 friends because they were stigmatized.
Oh my God, I could never.
Literally 2 repeated situations where I dated someone and then a very close friend started dating that person. In one situation, it was while I was dating the person. In the next situation, I couldn't confirm. No, but here's the crazy shit. I spilling everybody fucking tea because it's been 10 years. Bitches need to get over it. It was It was the same man. It was the same man, Deidre. I dated this. Let me tell you the story. I dated this guy. It was a very short relationship, nothing extensive. Dated him. He asked me to be like, he initiated the relationship, and then he initiated the breakup and said that he just wasn't sure if he wanted to date or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. I was hurt because I was young.
Understandably so, yeah.
Couple weeks later, come to find out my best friend is now dating this person. I react negatively because what the fuck? And let me tell you something. I've never been stigmatized to the point where I attack another woman before I attack the person I dated. So I was upset with him, not necessarily. I mean, I was upset with her because, like, you're my friend. Like, that's why you crossed the boundary. So that's situation number 1. In that situation, I had another friend who supported me, who were like, yeah, that's fucked up. That's why.
She turned around and take the D too.
She turned around a couple of years later and ended up dating the same person. Behind my back at first, and then it was revealed to me, and then she confirmed it.
So what kind of dick he was putting down?
No, but here the funny part. It was not the great dick at all. It was not. It was not. Because years later, me and the first friend, we're older, we meet back up. I end up visiting the state where she lives. We meet back up and we chilling, cracking jokes. And, you know, time has passed, so we're past those little, you know, young day beefs. Mm-hmm. And she's like, can I ask you something? Had you and him had sex? I said, yeah. And she said, did you enjoy it? I said, hell no, his dick was small. And she bust out laughing and said, wasn't it? I said, and you risked our entire friendship for it. Now, don't you feel stupid? And she did. Yeah. But looking back, I'm like, the whole time, everybody were like, oh, hey, is that tripping? Like, they were gaslighting the fuck out of me. Like, you can't just get mad at your friend. Like, that's your best friend. You need to find a way to make it work. Like, don't lose your friend over no man. Like, mind you, they were never talking to my friends about how fucked up their actions were, you know. They were coming to me.
Yeah, I hate that. That's so stupid.
They were coming to me, gaslighting me, like, hey, Isa, you shouldn't be upset right now. Like, people were mad at me for being mad, right? Uh-huh. And I'm just like... his penis is tiny. It's not good. What? Like, I wanted to scream it into oblivion too, but I'm like, you know what? People will look at woman who'll be like, and your dick small, and they'll judge.
I'll be like, well, you was fucking it. Like, yeah, it wasn't too small when you was taking it. Or
yeah,
not.
They'll be like, oh, you just upset. You just mad now that I break up. That's why you're saying that. So I was like, I'm not gonna yell it, but like, I'm not gonna lie. That like 5+ years later, when me and her met back up, and she asked me that and confirmed that it wasn't just me, that it was indeed not worth it.
It wasn't hitting. It wasn't popping. It is what it is.
To this day, I don't think about the fact that like a lot of women out here are stigmatized over penis that's not even that good. Size don't matter here. Like, I've had good sex with people who are not that big. But
yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry, I'm not keying nobody car for no like average. No.
Yeah, no, I could never.
No.
I'm so confused. See, I've never understood the vandalism. I've never understood the violence that ensues over some dick.
I think that's
I'm
something
just-
wrong with the individual and not necessarily like you can't blame penis on that because I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
it's
also,
like
that's why you need to avoid toxic dick. We'll talk about that.
oof, toxic dick. And you know,
There is
so here's the thing.
levels.
I really I don't know. I'm maybe I'll have a survey and send it to my exes or the people who I've had sex with. I may possibly fall into the category. Me and my best friend were talking about this the other day. And she said, you may be one of them toxic people that'll fuck people like you want them and don't really want them. Because I didn't realize that there were levels to the way you throw it down on people. There's things that I do in bed that I didn't know you should only do with people that you really want to be with. I didn't know that. So
Why
I've been
you
doing
being
some things.
weird to me? One
Right,
hand
I
on
didn't-
frontal.
Listen, if I am the female version of one hand on frontal, I'll be putting on a
You
show. But I
said you
didn't.
wanted to get married.
See, I don't say the words. I don't do the talking because I don't believe in them soul con. I don't believe in that. So I may possibly be one of those people who be not saying but doing the things that make a
You
person
get
think that
toxic
I'm.
box?
I think I do because I learned recently, like Deidre, you can't be doing them kind of thing to people you don't want to be with. I was like, I recently learned that this toxic box was a thing, and I made.
So I have a friend from undergrad who calls it a golden nugget. And
Ooh, I like that.
her idea of a golden nugget is when it's so good that these men keep hopping back up in your inbox years later and you just like, Papa, it's not happening no more. And they're just like, hey,
yeah,
how
I be
you
having,
doing?
hey, how you doing? And it's people who I just literally leave on red at this. I don't even respond.
Ty's episode turned into us talking about how good the fucking box is. I hope I know. Anyway, I think
Oh
the day
my
that
God.
I was affirmed in the talent of my golden nugget was when I had a casual sex with someone and he happened to be the friend of this guy that really, really liked me. And I didn't put two and two together. It was a very casual situation. And the guy that really liked me, like, there was no future in that. Like, I hadn't led him on. Like, I was not going to date this person. This person knew, like, I wasn't interested, whatever. But the guy that really liked me found out because old dude bragged about it in a group chat. And the way that I knew that my girl was making straight A's in school is because although he was upset that I had smashed the homie, he still wanted me. And in his mind, he needed to find out why his homie was so excited.
These niggas
And I
is
was
awful.
like, the two I'll get fucking problems. And I never, like, I stayed
Yeah,
away
that's
from that
disturbing.
whole situation. But this whole conversation is reminding me of our episode on casual sex. And the reason it's reminding me of that is because I'm realizing that, yeah, although we talked about communication and being clear when you want something versus when you don't, I think that sometimes digmatization comes in, okay?
Oh,
and I
yeah.
think sometimes we need to be real about it. Sometimes, yeah, we know that person said, I want this to be casual, but your penis said something different, okay? It said
Yeah,
something.
one hand on frontal.
One hand on frontal. It told me it wanted to get married. I know you said you want to be single, but your dick does not want to be single. Your dick wants to be my boyfriend, okay?
Yeah.
And I need to bring y'all together so that y'all are on the same page. I think that happens, okay? It happens. It's happened to me, okay? I've been in a casual sex situation that started as casual sex, but the sex didn't feel casual. It felt like... It felt
She said
like...
the sex didn't feel casual.
And I was young and I was naive, but young, naive Heiza was imagining marriage and babies. I think we've touched on a lot of different topics as it relates to being dickmatized. Audience, we need a word for dickmatized, but like for the opposite sex. Pussy whipped. Is it pussy whipped?
Yeah, I always hear people say pussy whip, sprung. I think they say sprung.
Yeah.
I
So,
think they
okay,
say sprung.
audience, I want to hear your stories. What is the craziest thing that you have done for the
fun.
D or
the P?
Or for the P, for the golden nugget? I need to know. Have you shown up outside of this person's house? Have you called their baby mama phone? Have you shown up to work ready to risk it all because your boss was laying it down? I need to know. I want all the dirty secrets.
Not
DM
the boss.
us. DM us your dickmatization or pussy whip stories on Twitter or on Instagram. Y'all know we always have a question thread. So if you missed that question thread this past Monday, go back to our Twitter and answer it, or on our Instagram and answer it. Follow us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Good Up Pod. Sign up for our Patreon, and shout out to our new patrons. We got about 2 more.
Welcome. Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
we got about 2 more this season. So shout out to you. Shout out to all of our current patrons. The Facebook group lit. So make sure you join the Facebook group to talk shit with us. And last but not least, Deidre, tell the Westman them bye.
Bye.